Today we are bringing all of the MMA news straight to you with timestamps, by the way, if you'd like to skip to any particular part of the video. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with too many YouTube channels, and welcome back to everything that you missed in MMA this week. This is where we go through all of the news, things you didn't know about, things that the UFC and MMA community have been talking on Reddit, things that have been going on in the MMA world that you may have missed. We're going to cover it all today. Throughout the week, guys. Again, timestamps are there if you'd like to skip to any particular part of the video. Thank you so much for being here. So probably the biggest news of the week is the PFL has officially acquired Bellator. The biggest takeaway from this, in my opinion, is that Bellator is going to continue as its own separate and reimagined organization, which makes me very happy because I'm a big fan of Bellator. I made a couple videos talking about the entire situation, but Bellator, after the entire year of speculation, maybe a little bit more, I think it was about a year, after all of that, they've finally been purchased. The speculation about it is finally over. PFL has now officially acquired Bellator. Now, guys, I want to bring you over to Reddit. This was one of the most upvoted and trending posts of the week from the MMA community, so I wanted to take a look at it. We're going to take a look at a couple other posts from today, but this is one of the top posts of the week, and I completely agree with this because I made a video talking about it. Double champ pursuits are getting out of hand. You should only get the opportunity if you completely mop the floor with your weight class, like Volk or Izzy. Jamal wants Aspinall, Leon wants Strickland, Islam wants Leon, and on and on. You should only get a chance if there's literally nobody else to challenge you in the division. We're talking like 5 title defenses. I agree with Volk getting a shot to fight Islam and Izzy fighting Jan, but everyone really just needs to stay in their division and defend their damn belts. I couldn't agree with this more. I made an entire video talking about it, especially like after hearing about what Leon Edwards wants to go up already after fighting absolutely nobody, and that division is already being held up. So I completely agree with this, and it's making the whole thing like less special. You know, a champion going up and trying to get a second belt really is a special thing. Special when Connor did it. Special when Volkanovski did it. Special when Adesanya did it. Not these other guys. I don't want to see it. They need to, like this post said, they need to mop the floor with their divisions or have an insane amount of title defenses, in my opinion. Now, we do have a couple return dates for a few UFC fighters. Gilbert Burns has been cleared to train again. He's going to finally get back into training after his Bilal Muhammad injury. He wants to return to the octagon in March or April. Dustin Poirier wants to return at UFC 300, and Piotr Jan wants to return at UFC 299, which is a little bit interesting to me for 299 because why not UFC 300? But then again, he probably just wants to be on the same card as Sean O'Malley. He probably wants to like have a couple altercations there, which in the long run, that could work out, especially Piotr Jan wins. Man, I hope that guy wins, dude. Moving on to the next topic, though, I want to bring you back over to Reddit. Another post that is one of the most trending posts of the week is actually a video, but of course, you will know what this video is if I show it to you because there's sad music, there's copyright. I cannot get away with this, but one of the most trending posts was, "I'm not crying, you are." And of course, you have the meme template. I can't believe he didn't cry during the Titanic. Do men even have feelings? And then the saddest music of all time starts playing, right? And you have Chael Sonnen in those multiple interviews that he had saying that he promised his father before he passed that he would become a champion. And then it cuts to him with those multiple opportunities that he's had, and he's crying and choking up that he didn't do it. He's like, "I would just tell my dad I tried. I tried so hard to be a champion." It's like, oh my God, like it gets me in the feels every single time, man. Chael Sonnen is probably my favorite fighter of all time, honestly, and it really hurts because we all know that Chael, it puts on an act, right? He puts on an act for the fans all the time. You never really know if he's being too real or not, but with this, and you can see like the pure emotion that comes out of him whenever he speaks about this. This is absolutely a true story. I wholeheartedly believe it, and my heart breaks every single time that I see this, so he's a champion in our hearts, but he couldn't complete it for his father. It makes me sad every time I see it, and this guy who just posted it, NKing007, just ruined my day. Now, guys, I want to bring you back over to Reddit again. This was another trending post, and this is something that really gets me going, man. Nothing more wholesome than holding your daughter while dropping F-bombs and calling another dude cum shot, and that's what's true. Like, I was watching this with my mom and dad, and when Brennan Allen had that interview, I was like, oh my God, you're holding your daughter in your arms and you're calling a dude cum shot and you're like doing nothing but swearing. Like that girl is just, oh my God, I feel so bad for her, dude. I feel so bad for her. And on that same card, you had Aylin Perez twerking on a cage while her little boy was watching her. Like, it's disgusting what these fighters do. I got so much flack. I made a lot of YouTube shorts about it. I made a whole YouTube video about it. And I don't think I've ever gotten that much flack in my life where I'm like, guys, leave your little kids at home. The UFC fighters, like, it's fine if you want, if they're getting into MMA themselves, it's fine if they understand, but like, look at Brendan Allen's daughter. She should not be at a UFC event. And he's making it worse because he brought her to the press conference too. Like, it was a little bit more vanilla there, but still, you're calling another guy cum shot. Like, it's so true. When I posted the video talking about how I hate when fighters do this, and just like a girl that age is not ready to see her father potentially get flatlined, you know, that's not okay in my books. And all the comments in that video, and I understand like people usually just comment when they have something like back to say, but still, I can't believe that there's people that really think like this, man, where it's like, I got so many comments. To be honest, I laughed at these ones because they're like, oh, why don't you drink some more soy boy? And I'm like, guys, I'm not a soy boy, man. I don't get offended by everything. I just don't think you should bring your little kid to a UFC cage. And I don't think you should be swearing in front of her. Like, that's not crazy. That's not crazy. And everybody's like, well, the kid's got to learn one day why you don't want to hold him in a safe space. I'm like, guys, I'm not saying that the whole world needs to be a safe space. Like, you guys are assuming so many things about me that are just not true. I don't understand why this is a controversial take. So point is, it was nice to see people actually talking about this on Reddit of all places, to be honest with you, because usually you don't get too many logical opinions on Reddit, but still, like, it honestly disgusts me when people bring their little girls like that and they're talking in front of her like that. It's really bad for them, man. I don't like it. Moving on to the next topic, though. Speaking of disgusting things, we have Tom Aspinall, Nina drama. So the whole clip, and I won't play it for you because of copyright reasons. Tom Aspinall and Nina drama. I'm sure I could get away with it now I'm thinking about it, but like I'm just gonna err on the side of safety. You guys probably have seen the clip. Tom Aspinall asked Nina drama in an interview if she's ever been fingered by a UFC fighter and what would it take. People are constantly chalking this up to, okay, it was a joke. Even if it was a joke, my whole takeaway from this is Tom Aspinall is making a joke like that while he has a wife and kids at home. I don't like that. I think that is a huge disrespect to your wife. Whether you were joking or not, I just find it inappropriate, man. But it's been like, that's been a little bit of a talk in the MMA community lately because there's been a lot of back and forth on that. I understand everybody's saying like, oh, it's a UK style of humor, and you're getting into a bunch of stuff like that. And even if it is a joke, man, I just find it disrespectful to his wife, to be honest with you. But Nina drama, though, those interviews are all over the place like that, so I'm not worried about Nina drama at all. Might have made her a little bit uncomfortable, but honestly, she willingly does interviews with Sean Strickland, so she's kind of asking for that in my opinion, but a little bit weird. That's been kind of like the talk of the MMA community lately. Now, guys, I will take you over to Reddit again for the last time for today, and actually, I was going to show this off in another topic, so thankfully, this is one of the most top-voted posts in MMA. Derek Brunson's fight week photos from his last UFC fight and his PFL debut today. Look at him. Oh my God, Derek Brunson. Derek Brunson, you can tell he's out of USADA, man. Oh boy, oh boy. And people are even saying like, oh, it's just the lighting. Like, no, this dude is bigger. This dude is more defined. This dude's likely on something, man. So what can you do? It's part of moving over to the PFL, I guess. Now, guys, a couple things before I get you out of here. I have all of the fight announcements this week. There's not a lot going on this week. There's a couple fights that I'm really interested in, but I'll take a pause on it. I'll rapid fire them off for you. If there's anything interesting, I'll stop and talk about it, in my opinion. One that is interesting, though, is Daniel Lacerda versus Edgar Sheraz has been announced for February 24th. Again. Victor Altamirano versus Felipe DeSantos on February 24th. Marcus Rogério de Lima versus Justin Tafa on February 17th. That's actually an interesting fight. Zhang Minyang versus Brenson Ribeiro on February 17th. Ryan DeSantos versus Talia Alencar, on December 9th. It's a little bit of a stinker. And then one of my favorite fighters of all time, Jim Miller versus Gabriel Benitez on January 13th. This one upsets me a little bit because they're trying to get UFC 300 for February, right? I believe that's when UFC 300 is. Jim Miller fighting in January, unless it's a quick finish, he might not be able to make UFC 300. I wanted a Jim Miller retirement on UFC 300. I wanted a heartbreaking Jim Miller versus Paul Felder retirement fight at UFC 300 because that would be the perfect story, fairy tale ending, for Jim Miller at UFC 300. But hey, you know what? It's not my career, it's his. Hopefully he gets a quick finish. Hopefully he can have a nice turnaround at UFC 300. And finally, the final fight announcement we have for this week is Trevin Giles versus Carlos Prats on February 10th. Some solid fights. We have had a lot of fight announcements recently that have been really, really good, so it's a little bit of a step back, but I'm happy Jim Miller's back. Always love watching that guy. And as for fights to watch this weekend, guys, honestly, there's only the PFL. This is going to be my second event that I'm ever watching for the PFL. If you guys don't know, I made a whole nother video talking about why I will now start watching the PFL because I was happy with what Don Davis was doing. Watched him on Ariel Helwani, so I'm going to be watching the PFL, plus there was nothing else to watch, so why not watch PFL, right? I'm going to be checking it out. Hopefully it's good. I will be supporting that organization now, but of course, one championship in UFC first. Those are my two favorite organizations, guys. Let me know what you think about all of this down below. And thank you so much for watching. If you are new here and you enjoy the content, please consider hitting the like button, help out the channel a ton, and subscribe if you are brand new. Guys, we have this video out every single Friday on the screen right now. If you'd like to continue watching the Clenbat channel, there'll be 2 videos on screen for you to check out. I will see you either there or in the next video, everybody. Take care.